and I'm gonna finish this book today. Do I think it necessarily accomplished everything I set out for it to accomplish? No. I need to log the fuck in right now because right now it doesn't make sense. Why does this happen when I want to try to write a book? Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia. This month, I'm going to be embarking on a writing challenge. So for the month of February, I'm going to try to write every day and I'm going to try to finish my first draft of my book. Yes, is what we're calling it. I've done a few writing vlogs on this book. It's been a slow going process because I've just kind of been through it in a lot of different ways for a lot of different reasons. I just haven't been able to get this first draft done. And I kind of came to the realization that I really do a first draft best when I just put everything into it and kind of speed run the whole thing. So I was like, February, shortest month of the year. Why don't I do a little February rimo, and finish this darn book. 2 books previously. I'm currently querying. So that's a whole nother thing that like, this is my 3rd book and its initials are TS. It's a YA rom-com. It is inspired by a Shakespeare comedy with a sapphic YA twist, and it's very queer and it's very like nerdy and fun. Really love the premise and I have been so excited about this project, and I was so excited to get into it like this summer when I was gonna write it. It just has proven to be a little bit challenging and I don't know why exactly that is. So I think that if I really like focus my time and effort, I will be able to get it done. Obviously, let's like run down what we got going on here. I wrote down all the basics in my bullet journal, 13,922 words into the draft. So I'm basically 14,000 words in, and I'm on chapter 7, and there's a prologue, but I'm on chapter 7. I have like a page of chapter 7. And there are 30 chapters that I've planned out because I did a whole video where I showed you how I map out and plan out a book. And so there are 30 chapters, which is generally like around the amount of chapters I like. And there are 28 days in February. I think that, you know, I've like 14,000 words. I think that this is YA rom-com. I think it's gonna be around 65,000 words for like the first draft. My first drafts tend to be shorter. My last book, I think like my first draft was like 70 something, and then it got really big and it was like 90 something, and then it got smaller with like more drafts. But this one, I think I'm kind of like looking at it more like I wrote my first one, which I wrote my first book. I have a whole video on it where I wrote it in a month, and it was about 62,000 words. And it's a similar thing where it's like only first person, and it's kind of like a straightforward plot, as straightforward as a Shakespeare inspired book can be. I'm thinking it's gonna be around 65,000 words. That's not like the goal. Like I don't want to like necessarily like hit that. I just want to like finish the story. It could be more, it could be less. I would love it not to be more. So that means I have to write around 18,000 words every day in order to get to that goal. Again, that's like an arbitrary goal. It doesn't mean anything, but the mindset and the things that I'm taking in to kind of try to be the most successful with this challenge that I can be. Well, there's a couple things. I do have a break in February, which is really exciting. I have a February break, which is like a week long. And so that I think is gonna be a really great time for me to like catch up on writing, maybe get ahead. It's towards the middle to end of the month. I'm also training for a half marathon right now. Working in runs and writing is gonna be a little bit interesting. I think I can do it. I don't know. I tend to run about an hour or a little bit more a day, and writing, if I'm like really in the zone, I can write like 1,000 words an hour. So I need like 2 hours a day to write at least. So factoring that all in, I think I can work it into my schedule. This is all just me talking, so I don't know if it's gonna work out. I do have a job, so I do work, I have like a part-time job. I work 5 hours a day, but we are currently working on reports right now, which I work at like with children, and we're writing like reports on them, but I am almost done with reports and we can come in later when we're working on reports. So I think I'm going to use that extra hour that I can come in later to work on writing, because my reports will hopefully be done by the 1st of February. My next clip I'm gonna be like, I'm still working on reports. No, my only small concern is that I have a regularly scheduled wine night on Fridays with my besties from college. And that is going to be a day where I'm not sure how the writing is gonna get done at times. So I do think we might be, you know, trying to compensate on some other days, you know, trying to maybe not run on Fridays so that I can write in the morning and then have the evening time to spend with my friends. I don't want to sacrifice too much of like my health to do this, but I do think generally I can get I can stand to lose a little bit of sleep. If we're writing a little bit into the night, I think that's okay. As long as it's not like interrupting waking up for my runs, waking up to go to work, things like that. I guess we can get into my inspiration checklist, which is this like lower part of, there are some things that like are non-writer things that I want to do to inspire my work. I want to, first of all, work more on my playlist. My playlist has been made for a while, but I do think I need to like work on it a little bit more because I do feel like I'm kind of listening to the same songs over and over again. And I don't necessarily feel like the playlist puts me in the mood of the book. Same goes with my Pinterest board. It's just not that big and like inspired. I definitely get inspired from Pinterest. Like I notoriously saw like a picnic on Pinterest and then I was like, this book needs a picnic scene. And so I just like wrote that. And then I have some things I want to watch / read. I want to watch XO Kitty, the new season. I'm so excited. I just think like Jenny Han, as much as I don't like The Summer I Turned Pretty, I think she does like such an incredible job with like YA rom-coms. And I loved the first season of XO Kitty. I watched it while I was writing my second book. I have been saving season 2 to watch it during the writing process of this book. I also want to watch Waitress the musical, which is coming out on Max on the 14th, which is Valentine's Day. So what am I doing? I'll be watching that. I've been really obsessed with Waitress lately. It literally has nothing to do with my book, but I do think I need to be watching more musicals to inspire this book. And then another musical I want to watch is West Side Story, the newish one. I was very put off by it just for the general controversies around it, but I do think West Side Story is kind of like a little bit ingrained in my book. This is not a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, in case you're trying, but there is like a West Side Story element. I need a refresher. I saw West Side Story on Broadway early 2020, pre-pandemic, and I have no memory of it. And then there's a couple things I want to read. I want to read The Henna Wars, and I want to read We've Got the Beat. These are 2 sapphic YA rom-coms that I have not read. And then I'd also like to go on like a little bit of a writing date with my writer friends. Yes. So that is my plan so far for Februarimo. The reason I'm doing this in February is, did I say that? It's because it's the shortest month, and it is also the month that I feel like out of the 12 months of the year goes by the longest. If I feel like the shortest month of the year goes by so long, then it means I probably have a lot of time, and I generally just like want to be working towards my goals and doing things like that. It's like a good way to like start on your New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions, but not in January. This is me giving you the rundown. We are now going to cut to February 1st, bright and early. I don't actually know. I don't even know what day February 1st is. What day of the week is February 1st? Oh, it's a Saturday? Yeah, yeah. We are going to cut to February 1st and sitting down to write, and I'm excited to take you along with me. This is going to chronicle the whole month of me trying to do this. And even if I fail, you can't say I didn't try, so. Okay, so I filmed that clip over a week ago and it is now February 1st and I'm sitting down to write. I'm also filming like a little bit of a reel. I think I'm gonna film like a couple reels of my day as I'm writing. And I'm about to open the laptop and I just wanted to document my feelings. I am feeling quite nervous. I think that's understandable. Like setting any like sort of big challenge in front of you is gonna be like a little bit nerve-wracking. Nervous that I can't I can't put my money where my mouth is. Like I can't do what I'm setting out to do. Nervous about failure. The biggest failure is not having even started. So I'm going to start. I'm getting a later start of the day than planned, but it doesn't really matter. I typically sleep in on Saturdays and I usually wake up early on Sundays just to do my long runs. Because today is Saturday and it's the first day of doing this writing challenge, I like made sure I had nothing else to do today. I will take down my Christmas tree today. It's February 1st. I said February 1st, my Christmas tree is coming down, and it is. I don't know like if I will have any more joy left in my life once my Christmas tree is not in my room, because what do I do? Like what do I do when I don't have a Christmas tree? I'm just like planning on writing for most of the day, so I don't know how interesting this will be, but I will of course document my thoughts and feelings as I'm doing things. The only things that I have done off of that checklist that I was talking to you guys about is I'm almost done with reading The Henna Wars, which I was like, this is gonna be like a big like comp title for this book, and I don't know if I agree with that after having read most of it, but the goal for today is I'm gonna say like 2,500 words. I want to finish the chapter that I'm on and I want to get a start on the next chapter. I don't know how long it's gonna take for the words to come because the words are not coming as I'm speaking right now. Like I don't think my coffee has set in yet, but it will, they will start flowing. I'm going to do my write or nothing. I'm gonna put on my playlist and I'm gonna turn on my laptop and I'm gonna just sit here and stare at the screen. Probably not a sprint. Guys, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a marathon, me marathon training. February's gonna be my month, guys. It's gonna be my month. Alrighty, so lunch was had, the tree is now gone. It's a sad day. I'm just like looking at this corner of my room and I'm like, what are you for? So I had like a really great like 1 hour writing sprint. So basically from the time I said goodbye to you until noon, I wrote, oh, what if my laptop was on? I wrote like 1,100 words. I finished chapter 7, which is really great. My chapters are short. I don't know if I like have said this before, but like I'm 15,026 words in total right now. I'm gonna start chapter 8. Do I know what chapter 8's about? Yes, I do know what it's about. Okay. It's about one of the kind of side plot. Yeah, one of the side plots of the story, which is, I guess, a bigger part of the original play. There's something I need to do for it that I'm not gonna do in this draft. I found those first 1,000 words really, really easy, really happy with them. Like I felt like I was in a good flow. Like the chapter like didn't have a lot to it. Like there's not a lot. I'm in act 2, so it's fun and games, and I do love act 2. It's kind of about building character, developing relationships, developing the plot, moving the plot along, but also not like, it's not like no big like huge moments are happening in act 2 like until we get to the end of act 2. I love act 2. So act 2 is really fun for me. It's really when I get to get into characters and get to have like conversations that are kind of like progressing the plot in like a more slow way. Start chapter 8. What I wanted to tell you that I've been doing, Hilda's very confused. My cat is very confused of like what's going on, of why there isn't a tree here anymore. But what I've been doing is I do have a playlist for this book. It has like 100 songs on it. I started it forever ago. I start making playlists for books like when I have the idea for them. Like I'm like, I can see it. I have not been listening to that playlist. I have actually just been listening to one song on repeat. I've listened to it like 30 times today. I've been listening to Purple Teeth, The Bravery by Del Water Gap because I've just been like, I've had this song stuck in my head like all week and I just started playing it and then I was like, what if I listen to it again? And what if I listen to it again? And it's really funny because I like very rarely listen to songs on repeat. I do get a little hyperfixated on songs. Like every week there's a new song I'm like really into. I don't usually listen to it on loops for that long, but that has actually really helped me like focus because I'm not like thinking about the songs that are playing because it's the same song over and over again. And it's also like a song that I'm not tired of, at least right now. So like, it's like still fun to be like, jamming a little bit and then going back to it because it's like I just keep hearing the same thing. And I don't think I've done that before when I've been writing. So I'm having a fun time doing that. When I get tired of it, I will switch it. For now, that's what I'm going to continue doing. Like I said, I wanted to write like 2,500 words today. So this is like a group full cast chapter, but there are a lot of characters in this book and I had to remember all of their names, but I do. I remember all their names and all their little quirks. I'm gonna hop back into chapter 8, write chapter 8. Did I tell you it's like 1:30? I took a lunch break. I went to H Mart, I got lunch. I don't love writing in the evening. I am gonna have to like get used to doing that, especially like when I work during the work week. Did watch The Bear during my lunch break and I was like, how is this gonna like inform my writing? Like it's not very similar, but I think great art makes me inspired to make great art and I do love The Bear. I think it's really well done and I was really focused on like the dialogue in that show. I think is like really good. That's what I was focused on. Great art makes me want to make great art, so love that. Anyway, I'm gonna write chapter 8. Hi friends, it's not even 3 o'clock. Okay, I took a little break at like 2:30 to like watch a couple like AuthorTube videos because I literally, when I tell you, I follow so many like writers on YouTube, but I can't watch writing vlogs if I'm not writing. So I have so many in my watch later, like from like 6 months ago. So I watched a couple of those videos and then I finished chapter 8. It happens in chapter 8, which is really exciting. It's kind of starting this thing that's gonna continue happening throughout the book. And it's the thing about the retelling of this. I don't know if I necessarily need to reread this play Well, I actually haven't read it. The thing about me is I actually haven't read this play, but I've seen it multiple times. I've seen the play that this is based off multiple times. And I watched it like specifically and took notes to write this book. But I didn't like read it with my eyeballs physically. But I'm like, I keep wanting to like reread it and like go back to it and be like, add more elements of it, but I really do think that's a second draft issue. I don't think like I should be concerning myself that much with it right now, just because like I love this play. Like I love this play so much. It's why I'm writing a retelling of it. Like it's so silly goofy. It's so like, oh, it's so fun. I didn't exactly reach 2,500 words, which is fine. That was just kind of like my estimation, approximation of what I'm doing. Okay, maybe the chapter's not over, but that was like a natural conclusion. I might have to go back. Shit. There's something that I wanted to happen in this chapter in my outline that I didn't put in. And it was gonna be like the endish of this chapter, but I changed how this chapter ended. So now I'm wondering if I move it. I could move it. Maybe I'm actually not done for the day. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I just like moved something because I mentioned kind of what I thought I was gonna end the chapter with in the beginning of the chapter, and then I was like, let's just actually move it to the beginning of the chapter. So that's what I did. So now let me tell you how many words I've written. I wrote 2,415 words, which is I like a lot better because it makes me feel like I was closer to 2,500. I'm like less than 100 words away. So I'm very happy about that. We are up to 16,337 words in total in the draft. Yeah, so I'm going to reward myself with finishing my writing for today. I'm gonna do my nails. And what else am I gonna do? I think tonight I'm gonna watch some EXO Kitty. That was on my list of things that I wanted to watch. I also want to finish the Henna Wars tonight. So those are gonna be my couple of things I'm gonna do to refill the well. It's so like crazy to me because like this book was so hard for so long that I just got right into it and like hit the ground running. So it's like shocking to me that this was really easy today. And I just feel so good about it. Like I'm so like, is this the best book ever? Is this a great first draft? I don't know, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's not the worst thing I've ever written, so I'm doing good. So tomorrow I actually am going out to lunch and I'm going on a run. So those are my kind of two things that are gonna interrupt my whole day of writing, not even to mention when I start work again next week. We're gonna work around it. We're gonna work around it. We're gonna prioritize the writing. And we're gonna get shit done. So I will probably check in with you after my run tomorrow, if not after I go out to lunch. Friends, it is now Sunday, the 2nd day of February. I am sat here at my laptop and I have been writing for about an hour-ish. A little over an hour, but I did take a break. I'm getting a little distracted today. I went out to lunch, did a little window shopping / gift shopping. I went to a record store and I was like, I didn't get a record there because the records were so expensive. So I kind of just had it in the back of my mind. I was like, I do really want to buy a record today. And so while I was writing, did I buy a record? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did online. For one of my favorite albums of last year. Yeah, it came out last year. But I have also written 1,046 words so far today, all in chapter 8. I'm thinking I'm only gonna write chapter 8 today, and we're just gonna write however many words that seems to be, whether that's, I'm thinking it's gonna be around 1,800, 1,900. If it was 2,000, that'd be awesome. But just because like I don't need to write as much as I wrote yesterday every day, and I don't want to write the next chapter because the next chapter I'm really excited to write. I think it's gonna be really fun. This is like me going like, I've hit my stride. Yes, I have, because I love Act 2. I've always said Act 2 is my favorite act. I don't know, it's probably most people's favorite acts. It's the fun, it's the games, and if it has a romance, it's the falling in love. So it's like so great. I'm having a lot of fun with that. So that's gonna be like their first date is gonna be the next chapter, and it's gonna go horribly wrong. And I'm very excited. I'm excited to write that, but I don't want to write that today because like I need fresh eyes, I need more energy. Like I'm tired today. I ran 7 miles, but my watch like stopped at 5, and I was like, but I kept going. But baby, we kept going. So my watch stopped at 5, but I kept going. I have more miles to run every single week, so that should be exciting. I'm sure my long run next week is probably 12. So Doing amazing. I'm not getting nervous. Maybe I'm getting nervous. I'm very much like, I think the writing is really gonna change every day, daily. That's the word I was looking for. I think it's gonna change daily. Like, I genuinely think like I'm never gonna have, which is really sad because like, obviously the great thing about like when I was writing like over the summer, not last summer because I had writer's block, but when I have written books over the summer, I like have a nice routine of like when I sit down to write and things like that. But in general, like the days I'm running and working, I'm gonna have to write after work. The days I'm working but not running, I'm gonna write in the morning. The days that I'm working, running, and going somewhere after work, I have to write sometime in the midst of that. So there's just a lot of things going on. It's a little chaotic. I'm excited, and like I said, I'm gonna be able to catch up on my week off. Written 1,000 words, I'm gonna write another 800 or so. We're getting to a point. I watched a movie last night. I watched West Side Story, I can tell you that. It's not, this is not a Romeo and Juliet retelling. But I watched West Side Story last night because this movie, have I told you, it's like, has a lot of influence in musicals and retellings and Shakespeare, and like West Side Story is kind of the perfect amalgamation of that, of all those things. So I watched the 2021 is when it came out. It made me, I was like, do I need to change something in my book after watching that? And I was like, maybe not. I think it's okay. I think it's actually genuinely fine, because my main character is a little problematic. She's kind of, I can tell you this. This doesn't really give anything away. In my head, I picture my main character like Rachel Berry from Glee. Which, if that tells you anything about what this book's, it probably doesn't, that doesn't tell you, shut the fuck up, stop hiccuping. That doesn't tell you anything, it's not about a Glee club, but that character is very much like influential over this, over this character. So she's like a bit of a bitch, which is kind of fun, and I like it. Especially in like, in the YA space, like, I think it's really, I don't know, I think it's honestly like kind of rare that there are like accurate teenaged characters that aren't also kind of assholes. And I think like the best like teenage characters, the best characters in general, are well-rounded enough that like you do kind of hate them at times, especially teenagers, because they make the worst decisions. But yeah, it is 5 o'clock now. Hopefully like do an hour sprint and call it a day and not get distracted. I was just trying to write a metaphor because I love a metaphor. I was trying to write a simile and I was like, doing this, just like, I actually have no idea what it's like. So we'll figure it out later. So anyway, I'm gonna finish my writing for the day and stop hiccuping. Hello my friends, we're coming at you from my bathroom because I'm doing my makeup and I'm like thinking about my writing today. It is Monday, it's a lovely Monday. And I think I told you yesterday I'm coming up on chapter 10, which is gonna be like a really important, fun chapter. And the more I've been thinking about it, this lighting is horrible. The more I've been thinking about it, I swear I look normal in the bathroom lighting. The more I think about it, the more I think that chapter 10 actually needs to be 2 chapters, that it's going to be like chapter 10 and 11, because there are 2 kind of major scenes that are happening in what is now supposed to be chapter 10, because there's like, I told you they're going on a first date, but then there's like the aftermath of the first date, because there is, and I just feel that it's going to be 2 chapters. So I'm thinking that's going to kind of be my goal for today, is to get done the date and the aftermath of the date. Like, it sounds like there's some sort of catastrophe going on. There isn't, but like something happens and we need to come back together. We need to figure it out. So I think I want to get that done today. A little bit of a lot of work. A little bit of a lot of work. I also am like just mainly wanting to do like 2 kind of separate writing sessions today, just because I want to see how that goes. Mondays are like my chillest day. Like, I love Mondays, which is why I make them a schedule that you will see. Like, Mondays I get groceries and I don't go on a run, so my mornings are pretty chill. I have some time this morning to write, which is gonna be like my first session of writing of the day. Now this is like, some days this morning writing session I probably won't be able to get because I run most days, and that leads me to get home at like, I run for like an hour and a half, like most times that I run. So I don't get back home from my run until later, and then I have to get ready and then I have to go to work. So, but I am also going to have an evening writing session because I haven't written past 6 p.m. yet. And I know, like, logically, as someone that's done NaNoWriMo, I hate to say the words, but as someone who's done NaNoWriMo, I did that while I was in school, I know that like night writing is kind of key when you have like a lot going on during the day. I started reading a new book. I started reading The Home Field Advantage, or Home Field Advantage, I think is what it's called, which is a sapphic rom-com, because I'm just reading all sapphic rom-coms that I can get my grubby little hands on. And I'm wondering if I want to do my hair or if I want to start writing and then do my hair. Okay, so I'm gonna hop into my writing for the day, and I'll probably stop around, I just got a notification for how much money I spent grocery shopping. I'm probably going to stop around noon, so I'll get a good like 90 minutes. I need to log the fuck in right now. So I know I told you, I was like, I'm gonna do a second writing session after work because that's gonna be when I'm getting words in on days when I run, and I need to try it out today and have a double writing session. I actually did have 2 writing sessions today because I did actually write at work. I got to work early because I had to give a gift to someone, to one of my coworkers, and so I got there early and I had an hour where I wrote like 500 words, which is not very good. I was pretty distracted. I wrote in like spurts, but it is now 7 o'clock. I ate dinner, I watched some Boy Meets World, and I need to sit. This is great. This is awesome. And I need to sit down now and finish this chapter. So I thought I was going to, okay, this lighting is really, it's really something. So I thought I was going to write chapters 10 and 11 today because I was telling you that chapter 10 actually needs to be 2 separate chapters, 10 and 11. But while I was writing chapter 10, I realized it's actually just like gonna be kind of like long. Well, not long, but it's gonna be longer in that I can't write that chapter and the next chapter in one day. It would be like a 5,000 word day, and I can't write that much in one day. Especially on a day when I work and go to my job. Yeah, we're gonna keep the light. We're gonna keep this light here because it's gorgeous. Decided I'm just gonna finish chapter 10 today, and I'm gonna work on chapter 11 tomorrow. I'm a little bit concerned with how my words are gonna get done this week because I have like lots of like social things going on, which is very, I wouldn't say rare for me, but like, it's just like, this kind of always happens. Like when I have like something like this to do, all of a sudden I'm like super busy with like my social life, which is super stupid. I have to just finish up this. I think I need to write like 500 more words into this chapter. I'm currently 20,000 words in, which is really awesome. I'm 20,022 words right now. So I think this chapter is gonna be like 2,200 words. So I just need to wrap it up. I was just kind of, it's their first date, so I was having them have a little laugh. A little laugh. Now I am going to have kind of, well, I'm gonna have a little derailment and then we're gonna have a big derailment of the date. And that's how we're gonna finish this. I did try to have a song on repeat like I did the other day, help me focus, which didn't work as well because it was a different song, and I'm wondering if like I can only listen to that one Del Water Gap song 40 times in a row. So I'm gonna put on some Florence and the Machine because that's like kind of what I'm feeling for this book. I'm feeling like Florence and the Machine, Daisy the Great, like those are kind of the vibes for this book. And I'm gonna put that on. Actually, I might put Daisy the Great on. Can't put on songs I don't know though. And I'm gonna just write. I'm hoping this will take me like 20 to 30 minutes because I do want to like read tonight and I'm like really tired. So sorry, I'm really tired. Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. I have such a small apartment that it's really fun finding like the different angles that I can have. We have my toaster, my blender, and my coffee maker here. I'm gonna update you while I make lunch because I got back from my run, showered, got ready, and it's like 11:30 and I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. I ran over 6 miles. I'm kind of hungry. I had a really successful run though, but I'm just gonna make a bagel with cream cheese and lox. Today is the first day where I don't know realistically how many words I can get. I don't think I updated at the end of yesterday, but I got 2,529 words yesterday, so kind of a lot, especially for a day when I had work. I was really happy with that. I think honestly, like as much as I would love to like consistently write like 1,800 words every day because that's how I could reach my goal, I really think it's gonna be these like higher word count days and then these lower ones, because I fear today is gonna be a lower word count day. Yes, it is. Well, I have a few things stacked against me, I guess I could say. The first is that I obviously went on my run this morning, and that was like an hour and 15 minutes of my day. Pop her in the toaster. You hit gluten-free and then you hit bagel. Do I know what gluten-free does? I think it makes it toastier, to be honest. That's my thought. So I had my run. That took an hour, over an hour of my day. Then I had to shower and get ready. That takes time as well. Dry my hair, do my makeup, such. So I did that. I also have to write a cover letter today. I was gonna kind of put this off until tomorrow because I know I actually have more time tomorrow, not because I'm not running, but because I don't have something later. So I have to work on this cover letter. It's for a possible summer job because my job right now is just only through like the school year because I work at a school. Yeah, I'm looking for summer jobs and like kind of figuring out what I'm gonna do this summer. Kind of connected with someone for a possible job, and I need to send them a cover letter and my resume, and I need to update my resume, and I need to write like kind of, I'm gonna take a cover letter I've already written and just kind of like spruce it up because it's the same basic information. Fingers crossed for me, that would be great. But that's like the first thing I have to do today because that's kind of more time sensitive. I am going into work a little later, but I'm watching a movie with my friend from work. We kind of do this most every Tuesday. We watch a Timothy Chalamet movie. So we're working through his backlist. So we're gonna watch Miss Stevens, and then we're also gonna finish Across the Universe, which we never finished, but we tried to watch literally like a month ago. So we're gonna watch like 2 movies, and then by the time she leaves to go home, it's gonna be like 9-10 o'clock, and like that's bedtime. So we will see how much I've written today. I think my goal honestly for today is like 1,000 words. Don't think I'm gonna write this entire next chapter. I don't think it's possible because I think it's gonna be another longer chapter, but I just wanna like get words on the page. I don't wanna like write nothing today because I have so many things going on, but I wanna write something, and I think 1,000 is like a good kind of quantifiable goal. So that's gonna be my goal for today. I'm like kind of watching my toaster. This is how it's gonna be. Like this is how it's gonna be. I have that whole week when I'm off to catch up, so I'm not super concerned about it. I just am a little concerned because I have like a lot of social things going on this week. I'm seeing like, well, I'm watching movies at home, my friend, and then I'm also going out to the movies with another friend, and then I also am going to a party, and then I also am having friends over, so I'm just having like a lot of things going on this which is fun and exciting. Why does this happen when I want to try to write a book? I have to get used to it. I realize I have to get used to this routine of squeezing in writing into life because life's always going to be there. Life's always going to be happening, isn't it? So I need to figure out a way to make this, what was I gonna say? Consistent? Attainable? I don't know. I don't know what the word I was gonna say. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly eat breakfast, probably start my cover letter at noon. Hopefully that will take me like an hour, and then I'll have like a half hour to write before I have to go to work. Oh, my toast is done. Okay, let me go make my lunch, and I will chat with you either at the end of the night or tomorrow. I promise my hair looked a lot better like throughout the day, but I got home, the hair ties broke, I had dinner. Anyway, so it is now February 5th, so we're 5 days in, and I was kind of kicking myself a little bit for yesterday because I did not get to write a lot because I went on a run, because I had work, because I had social things to do, and I wrote 215 words. That's the least I've written on a day so far this challenge. And I was really upset about it. However, I put things in a little bit of perspective in that the first day I wrote 2 chapters, and then every day besides yesterday, I've written a chapter. There's only 30, maybe 31 chapters in this book, and I started on chapter 7. So that's 23, 24-ish chapters. There are 28 days in the month of February. I can finish this book. So, and I just know that like some days I'm gonna not be able to write that much, and that's okay. So today I had a writing session in the morning after my run. So I went on my run, came back, got ready, and did a quick 1,000 words. It wasn't that quick, but I did a quick 1,000 words, and then I had work, ate dinner, kind of chilled out for like a little bit. It is now 7:15-ish. I just showed you the back of my phone. 7:15, 7:14, and I'm gonna sit down for another writing session. I'm saying like maybe get another 1,000 words. I just want to finish this chapter. I'm writing chapter 11 right now, which didn't used to exist, was not in the plan, which happens sometimes. But I told you chapter 10 had to be split in 2 because there's 2 kind of main parts, and I'm really attacking something really important to the story right now. Kind of the main conflict I have. I think I may have said this is a bit of an enemies to lovers. I don't know if I like that. I definitely don't like that trope, and I definitely don't like how that's pitched. I think it's definitely going to be more specific. Like, in the query letter and like how this book is pitched, it's gonna be more specific than an enemies to lovers, because I think that's like, unless you're trying to kill each other, you're not really enemies. However, these two characters have a past and have a history and have something that happened between them that made them not like each other. And I'm kind of confronting that right now in this chapter, and I'm really happy about doing it now. I think it came up kind of organically. I didn't have it like in my plan of like, when are they gonna talk about this? Or when are we gonna like talk about the fact that we fucking hated each other, or, you know, like, and now we're in this fake relationship. So like, it's good that it's coming up now, and I'm happy to be dealing with it now. And I think it's a really good scene so far. It's like a really I just really like how it's happening. So I'm very happy with it, and I just like the conversations that are being had about it. Well, it's one conversation, but I like the conversations that's being had about it. And I think it's really good for the characters, because then I can move on to being like, okay, this is a fake dating romance, because like, I need to like address the enemies. Like they need to stop being enemies after this chapter. Hopefully, hopefully by the end of this chapter, they will stop being enemies and they can just like continue fake dating and falling in love and having real feelings. So I just need that to be accomplished by the end of this chapter, which I think is going along swimmingly. So I am thinking it's gonna need another 1,000 words. I don't know if it necessarily will, but I just want to finish the chapter. That's all I'm hoping for. All I'm hoping for is to daily finish a chapter. Now, I know, okay, I told you I have so much going on this week. I promise you, next week, I'm like not gonna be social. Like, I'm not gonna be social next week, or I'm gonna try not to be. Tomorrow, I'm going to see a movie after work, with the caveat of I might not have work because it's gonna snow tomorrow, so it might be a snow day, and I work at a school. So, which either means I don't have work, or I can leave early, which both things would be really great for tomorrow, because I have to run 7 miles and I have to go in early / on time, hoping that the snow works in my favor. Although I'm gonna have to run in the snow anyway, so it's really exciting, especially doing speed work in the snow. That's a problem for tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the snow affects my work a little bit so that I can have some more time to write tomorrow. I'm gonna get back to my writing. I'm at a pivotal part. I'm at a pivotal part. Because then it's gonna be like, what are we doing? It's like, okay, if we're not gonna be enemies anymore and we're fake dating, like, what if we fall in love? I'm really excited. Can you tell? I had a second cup of coffee today because I was like, wouldn't that be really fun? Well, I knew I was gonna be writing tonight, and I was like, let me have a second cup of coffee. Now I'm feeling very jazzed. I was in fact listening to the same Del Water Gap song on repeat, and I might put it on again because it just kind of helps me focus. And if that's my most listened to song this year, so be it. And then I'm gonna read. I need to finish a book because I'm behind on my Goodreads challenge. I need to finish a book, and maybe I'll watch a movie. I don't know. Maybe I'll stay up late if I don't have work tomorrow. Hello, my friends. It is Thursday. I thought it was Friday for a second. Got a little confused. So it is Thursday. I had a snow day today, which was so lovely. That's why it's 2:15 and I'm updating you now, because I did 2 little writing sprint sessions and I finished my chapter for the day. So I finished chapter 12. I think I said to you yesterday that like chapter 11 had this really important conversation in it. I'm gonna file my nails while I do this. The character and her love interest had this really important conversation that they had to have in order for them to just like kind of settle their differences and start being like, maybe we're fake dating, maybe we're in love. So they needed to have that conversation in the last chapter, and this conversation is kind of like, we're just checking in with the, I wouldn't say, I'd say one of the main side characters. So they were just checking in with my main character and just kind of being like, what's the deal? What's going on? And it also kind of had a bit of a time jump. Nothing serious, just like a month. As I've been writing books for longer, I've been like spanning my books over longer periods of time. I don't know if that's something I'm necessarily good at, like, and I'm really excited about the next 3 chapters because one thing I love to write is a party. So I have like 3 separate scenes in mind for this party, like 3 different things that are going to be happening. I just live vicariously through my little characters, and they're just having such a little fun time. I'm really excited about the next 2 chapters. It also marks kind of the midpoint in, I don't want to be wrong when I say this. I think it's like around the midpoint of the book, if not the midpoint in Act 2. It's the midpoint of something. And so that's really important for where we're at, kind of like benchmarking the relationship, because something's obviously gonna happen at the party. So I wrote 1,795 words today, which is not up to like my 1,800 word goal of every day, but my goal is to finish a chapter a day. So that's not like that crazy for me. Yeah, I am going to see Companion tonight, which I'm really excited about. There have just been so many good movies that I've been wanting to see, and this just looks so fun. I'm trying to be like, how is it gonna inform my writing? I'm like, you know, probably not. Just good art is always inspiring. So I'm hoping it's good. It has good reviews, so I'm excited. Either I'm gonna be like snowed in and working and being super productive this weekend, or it's just gonna be like really like hibernation station. I'm not sure. I did send out my cover letter, my resume today for that job, so I did do that. I have been doing some other things behind the scenes. All right, quick update, friends. It is Friday evening now. I have to eat my dinner, but I just finished writing. I wrote over 1,000 words in less than an hour, or around 1,000 words in less than an hour. So I got home from work and I finished chapter 13, and I wrote in total for today 2,101 words. It's kind of insane. I had just like a really bad day at work, so I'm like trying to I was like getting this done immediately so I can like relax and decompress from the day that I had at work, which was fucking insane. But I'm so happy with this chapter, and writing this chapter just made me so like happy and hopeful for this book. I don't know, a lot of things are getting me down today, like work and also just like the state of the world. And I'm just like, obviously I've cut out this little corner of like my life to have this little fictional moment in time, and it's bringing me so much joy. And I'm like, I hope that like young queer girls can read this book and be happy and joyful and like have a like lovely time, and it's just like making me very happy. Anyway, so that's my update for today. I have to do my long run tomorrow before the snow comes, and I might be going shopping, but I'll definitely be writing. There's gonna be like 6 inches of snow on Super Bowl Sunday, which is gonna be really fun for me, so I'll be staying inside all day. But anyway, I'm excited, looking forward to this weekend. Writing is going just so swimmingly, and I'm gonna eat my pizza now. Hello, hi, how's it going? It is Sunday, so I have done a full week of writing, of doing this writing challenge, and I want to update you of like how much I've written in a week, which I think is like a good like measure of my progress. Give you a couple updates before I get into my writing for today. It's almost noon. I said I was gonna start at noon. Today is Sunday. I didn't vlog yesterday because I ran 12 miles and then I was like really heckin' tired. I got my writing done, of course. I did my chapter. I didn't write like a ton, but I finished my chapter. And I called it quits and I ate a lot of food and I took a nap. So I am 28,459 words into this draft. I'm like either one chapter away or like at the midpoint. I can't tell if it's like, because actually technically chapter 15, the things that are happening in chapter 15 are like the midpoint kind of chapter, is the midpoint chapter, but there are gonna be 31 chapters. The last chapter is like kind of, I don't like doing epilogues, but the last chapter is like a nice little bookend to the book. Meaning this book is gonna be it's gonna be around a 60,000 word first draft, I think. I absolutely know that when I write the second draft of this book, it's gonna get closer to 9. I am an underwriter when I write my first draft, so I just know that like it's gonna expand a lot in the second draft, and there's a lot of things I want to expand on. I'm just telling you. But I also wanted to tell you how much I've written in this first week, because I haven't written it yet for today. So I've written 14,537 words in 2 weeks. No, in 1 week, which is an average of around 2,000 words a day. So I think I'm right on trackety track, guys. I've been watching a bunch of writing vlogs this morning because it's Sunday. I did my everything shower and I've just been like hanging out. It's the Super Bowl Sunday, which is why I'm wearing my Eagles sweatshirt. I really need us to win. But anyway, I'm gonna lock into chapter 15. This is the midpoint chapter. We are kind of, let's see where we're at. And we're kind of finishing up Act 2. Act 2 I think is Act 2 a little bit longer than I thought? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Sometimes I just like don't know where I am. And I know that past Pia thought about like hitting certain beats of the story. Like past Pia knows about the narrative structure, but like present me when I'm writing, I'm not thinking about that. So I trust my past self that I thought this through. But I'm gonna write chapter 15 now. I think it honestly is gonna be another short chapter. We're having like an overheard conversation. We're still at the party. Still at the party, guys. But a lot has happened at this party. Yeah, I really don't think it's gonna be a long chapter, and I kind of am like, not that I don't want to write it because it's not gonna be a long chapter, but I'm like, I have this whole day off. I don't want to waste it only writing a short chapter. This is the first draft. It is okay. So I'm just gonna figure out if I want to start this chapter exactly where like the last one ended. I really like how the last chapter turned out really happy with it. I added some more like movement. I didn't talk about this, but like, a lot of my chapters are like, this is the conversation that needs to be had. This is the like emotional beat that needs to be hit, because I'm a character driven bitch at the end of the day. I really liked the movement of that chapter, and I think once it gets into the second draft, it will be like much more fun. I'm gonna sit and stew for a little bit. I'm gonna try using my headphones while I work. I have my headphones on like all day, every day, but I never do like in my apartment because I live alone. But I was watching Sarah Sutton's vlogs, and she always listens to music with headphones on, and I wonder if that like helps you concentrate. Like this playlist is starting to feel like the book again. I feel like some songs, like the songs I added over the summer when I was working on this book, like I am like, oh, this feels like last summer. But it's starting to feel more like the narrative of the story, which is really good. Gonna work. So sorry, it's 12:04. I need to sit and stew. I need to log in. I need to lock the fuck in. I finished my chapter. I finished chapter 15, and this was like a really hard chapter to write. I wonder if like any of this makes sense. Talking on such a granular level about this book that like you don't know what it's about. I knew this chapter was gonna be short because it's just like this one conversation, and do I think it necessarily accomplished everything I set out for it to accomplish? No. But I do think it does something really important for a side character's character. I want this one side character. I really don't like my characters being very black and white. I think most writers will agree with that. So even my characters that like maybe start off as like kind of villainous characters in a contemporary story, even that start off kind of antagonistic or just like seem like the bad guys in the situation, I do like them always having an arc. Not to like full redemption, they don't need to like be a good person, but I do like them having some sort of dimension and some sort of like other shit going on, so that they're not just like this like blanket person to hate in the book. Like I want them to be a little more nuanced than that. So that was kind of what this chapter was accomplishing. So it's kind of weird because it's not like helping further any of the main plots of the story. I mean, kind of. It's helping like to the trajectory of the romance. So like obviously it's mainly a romance, and even though they kiss in the 13th chapter, and things look so wonderful and lovely, and it looks like everything is gonna go to plan, they're obviously, that's not gonna happen. Yes, we solved some things. Some things are also kind of, they're not perfect. Like they're not gonna end up together in the middle of the second act. That's kind of what this chapter was also doing, of being like, no, like, you're not gonna live happily ever after. We're only halfway through the book. Like, I'm sorry. I hate to do it to my main character. I love her girly. This was a shorter chapter. I wrote 1677 words for that chapter, which is not that much, but literally didn't have that much going on. So I'm just happy it's done. So that's my writing for the day, and I'm gonna get ready to make my Super Bowl snacks / dinner. Before I watch the game, I need to get into the headspace, the zone for watching my football. I can't believe it's gonna be the last game of the season. I don't know what I'm gonna do on Sundays from now on. Like, what am I'm gonna write this book like in February, obviously, but then once March and April and stuff come, like, what do I do on a Sunday? Like, I just don't. There are like 6 unaccounted hours. I do find that I am really productive, especially with my writing, when it's not football season, but I miss football season so much. Anyway, I did want to talk about something that I was talking with my brother about yesterday on the phone, which is, do I always have to write YA / does this story have to be YA? And I was kind of thinking about it because I've taken multiple classes in writing young adult and like children's fiction, and it always was something that excited me and that I just really loved and gravitated towards. So that's kind of just why I've just been writing YA since then. Going into like being someone who wants to eventually be published, I am not sure like how big of a splash I can make if I'm just staying in YA. And I've never said I'm just gonna be a YA author. I've never said that. It's just like, I like writing this now, and maybe that will change down the line. I'll like writing something else better, but like, this is what I like writing now. Anyway, I am thinking about possibly aging this up. And I don't think it would change all that much. I do think like in general, I kind of keep it more cutesy, more like tame stuff going on. But this one, like, I just feel like it could be older, like maybe throw it to college or something like that. I mean, obviously like a lot. I'm halfway through the book, so why am I gonna make this huge change halfway through the book? I'm not doing it now, but I'm thinking that maybe somewhere around when I'm getting ready to do my second draft, I might kind of just figure out what are the things that need to be changed in order to make this like a college age story, so like new adult, which like new adult isn't a space. It's a weird fucking space in books. I mean, it's getting more traction now, but like it's always kind of been like a romance centered space, and this is not going to be like a very like heavy smut. This is not smut. So like I don't know where my book has a place in the new adult genre, because usually new adult is like romance heavy, sexually explicit heavy, and this is an asexual romance, so like it's just not gonna work there. But I am interested in that, especially since the last book I wrote, they were just starting college, and I feel like I really liked playing with like that college setting a lot more. And I do like how this is grounded in high school because I think it's fun, but I also like think that a lot of the conversation, especially in these last like 5 chapters or so that I've written, they're having a lot of like these deeper conversations about like identity and sexuality and like stuff like that, that maybe people are having in high school, but I certainly wasn't having in high school. So like I think that it would be able to be aged up without too much trouble. So I'm gonna look into that for draft 2. It's not gonna be something I'm thinking about right now. Well, I am thinking about it. It's not something I'm gonna like put time into like figuring out right now, because this is a draft 1. Like this is the skeleton of the story, you know? That's just something I'm thinking about. I am also thinking about what my next project is gonna be. This kind of happens to me. Like I have like shiny new idea syndrome, which like was really fun when this was my new idea like last year. But even though I love this project, I love this story, it's great, it's fun. Even though I love this book, I am kind of like, what's next for me? And I think whatever I write next is gonna be, I don't know. There's one idea that's like grabbing my attention. Once I finish this book, maybe in March, I'll make like a vlog, and I'll like try like to take like a week or 2 or whatever to like just like outline some stories that I have in my notes, because I have a document on my computer. Where is it? My writing ideas master list of all my writing ideas for every like book, movie, like any like writing thing I want to do, like short story or anything that I have just in here. But I also like haven't thought about new ideas. Like these are all kind of old ideas, so I'm wondering if like I might want to do like a brainstorming kind of thing of like trying to think of something totally new that's not on my list. That is the idea I'm thinking about, but I'm thinking about changing that to an adult story. I don't know. I'm just thinking like I do want to practice writing adult. It's not something I feel as confident in, simply because half of my schooling I spent working on children's and young adult things, and the other half I spent working on short stories, and they didn't teach me how to write short stories. So I just like I only learned one thing in college, and that's how to write for children and young adult, and I'm like, is that actually gonna be where I find success? What is success? Anyway. Anyway, I'm just like having so many like random thoughts about my career and my life and my trajectory, and I probably should be doing query stuff right now. I realize I haven't done that yet in February, and I was gonna kind of talk about it in this vlog, but maybe I'll just check on my spreadsheet. I still have like a ton of queries that I sent out that I have not heard back from. So I'm just gonna look through. I also have a ton on my list that are closed. So I'm gonna look through my list of people that are closed and see if they've opened up. A lot of people were like, we're coming back in the new year. And I'm like, guys, it's February, why are you not back? Maybe send out a couple queries right now. Oh, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I wish there was like just like a place like you could just put all your query materials and like just everyone could see it. It's just like so stupid. Do some queries, and then I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be a great day because the Eagles are gonna win. And if I come back and I'm like, oh, the Chiefs won. Okay friends, I don't normally update in the morning or in the middle of like, my writing for the day, but I'm updating now because I'm 31,050 words in to the book, and I'm halfway through chapter 16. I'm 914 words into chapter 16, and I'm like at a bit of a problem, and I want to talk through the problem because I'm like, maybe that will help me come up with a solution. So I think, as I was talking about yesterday, like we kind of had some really great like romance development moments in the last couple of chapters, and then in the last chapter we had kind of a possible derailment of that. And this next chapter is kind of a further, maybe like de-evolution of that progress that we were making with the relationship. And this is simply because my main character can't have a happily ever after 30,000 words in. Like, there have to be problems and there have to be things to overcome in the relationship. So we already did the falling in love. We already did the kind of like I don't want to say consummation, but like we already, the kiss, guys, it's crazy. So we already did that. So it's like, where do you go from there? They can't be like happy and healthy for the rest of the chapters, or can they be? Like, I don't know. Okay, so I have currently, like, in my plan, in my outline, we kind of have these few weeks in the timeline. So this chapter is all to bridge that gap of time and be like, what have they been up to? What has been going on? In my plan, I'm like, not a lot of great things have been going on. Actually, the relationship is not where we want them to be at this point. And I just wonder if that's the right move. I don't know if it's necessary. Like, I'm not gonna tell you like exactly what's happening, obviously, but like I'm writing, like, so obviously I have like a running list of like things I'm changing. Do we have to have them be so disconnected in this chapter? I genuinely don't know, because like I'm looking at the next couple of chapters. The next chapter is about the friend group. It's about the friend group. It's like a piece of the retelling portion. It's something that happens in the classic Shakespeare play. It has more to do with the ensemble. So that's the next chapter. And then the chapter after that is kind of like this surprise reconnection of our love interest and the main character. So, and then after that, we kind of are building up to like a big, like, let's make it official. Let's call it what it is. Like, this is a fake dating story. So it's like, let's say we're in love and let's say we're dating and let's like go out on a real date and like not pretend anymore. And that's like the next chapter after that. And the chapter after that is a continuation of that. And then we have the climax, we have the third act conflict, and some things happening there. Yes, I just am wondering if this chapter is necessary, because obviously it's necessary to move time. It's necessary to get to be like, a month has passed. It's necessary to move the time. But I'm like, why couldn't they just be bip-bopping along this whole time? And I think the only reason why they're disconnected in this time jump is because you would think that after they've like had this moment together, then after that they would be getting even closer. And maybe they should be. I'm leaving it for now because I'm just like, I'm gonna have to think about this throughout my day, and as I go to work and I do my job and I think about my book as I do. I am gonna keep thinking about this because I also like don't know my love interest motivation for kind of like low-key ghosting her. Like, I don't know what her, like, why would she do that? Like, she's busy, yeah, but like, who is it? I don't want to just like scrap the chapter. I also don't want to just like leave it blank and go to the next one. I think it's just gonna be like a weird chapter, like for right now. For this first draft, I think it's just gonna be a weird chapter. It's kind of a nothing chapter, and I want it to be something. I want something important to happen in this chapter. Everything should be moving, putting the wheels in motion, is that a saying? You know, like everything should be somewhat important to the plot, or the subplots, or whatever, the characters. But like, this is really not important at all. It's just simply to move the time, and I'm like, well, why am I destroying what we've built in order to just move time? And I'm getting confused. And I think what I'm gonna do, I need a scene in here too. I also just like can't have this just be summary, because like that would drive me insane. Like, I can't have this all be just telling. That drives me crazy. I'm a showing type of girl. I need to put a scene here. What I'm thinking for how to remedy this problem is, see, I've already written it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna change the fact that she's like being absent because I can change that in the rewrite, and it's honestly not that important right now. But I think like the scene that I wanna add is going to have something to do with one of the side plots. So in this book, there's obviously the main romance, the main character and her love interest, but then all of the side characters also have romances. Yeah, well, not like all of them. Like, that would be kind of crazy. Like, a lot of the side characters also have romances going on, and I think that a scene to further those would be really interesting. What it would be, I don't know, but it was also something I was noting in my draft 2 notes, as I was like, I want to see an exploration more of this side character and his romance. So I'm wondering if I could put that here. So that's what I'm thinking, to like make this make sense. Because right now it doesn't make sense. And I think that once I get past this chapter, it'll be smooth sailing. I think this is gonna be like the last of my shortish chapters, unless I just like don't write that much for the next couple of chapters. But like, okay, now I'm thinking about like what the scene could be. I'm gonna keep ruminating on what the scene could be. I'm gonna keep thinking about what the scene is gonna be. Hello, my friends. It is the 12th of February. I don't think I filmed yesterday. I think it's giving no. I think this is kind of the point, and I think this is like how I feel generally in drafts, is like I get past 30,000 words and I'm like, I am tired. I kind of thought I was stalling out a little bit because I had some pretty low word count days, and I was like, this is just how it's gonna be. This book is just not gonna write very well. And then yesterday I wrote like 1,800 words and I wrote a chapter, and I'm happy with the chapter. And then so I'm doing this thing. I'm trying to refill my creative well. I'm trying to keep inspired and engaged and excited about the story. So I'm rereading the play that's inspiring this book, and I listened to the audiobook and I read it that way, and now I'm like, I have a physical copy and I'm like annotating it and reading it again and reading like the introduction and the context and all this stuff. I'm like reconsidering how the things I've already done, which I need to stop doing. I need to stop doing, because I'm like in favor of writing them more like the play. I'm like, oh, they found out about this in this way in the play, it should be the same. Because like this is a loose retelling as it stands. Like as it stands, it's a loose retelling. It's like extracted elements from the story and such. But I do think I could incorporate more elements. There are also like obviously like a B and a C plot that I just like really don't have. I never when I'm writing a first draft am thinking about the B and C plot. Like I so rarely am thinking about it because it is not, it's just like not how my brain works in writing a first draft. Like I can't be thinking about all the different threads that are going at once. Like that's such a like second draft, third draft issue. Mostly second draft because that's like developmental stuff. But I'm just like rereading it and I'm like, oh, this whole like B plot is so interesting and so fun, and it shows this about the A plot, and like I'm like, it's not in the book. But I'm not gonna go back. The whole point of writing a first draft is never to go back. It's not discouraging me, it's not making me feel any bad feelings. It's meant to be inspiration. It's inspired by the play. Yeah. I have a little bit of time before I go to work today. So I either have like an hour, or either have like 2 hours to write, or I have like 3 hours to write this morning. I went on my run and it did not go great. Supposed to run 8 miles. I ran less than 3. And that's what happens sometimes. But I do think I'm gonna finish this book early, if not on time if not early. And I do think I'm gonna have some bigger word count days on my break. I'm so looking forward to my break. But yeah, I'm writing chapter 18. I'm 33,286 words into the draft. I don't think it's gonna hit 65K, but that's just like my thoughts. I don't know. I feel like since the chapter where I was like stuck and I was like, I know this needs a scene, I don't know if it needs this plot line. Since I've written that, I feel like much more confident in what's going on. Yeah, I think things in general are gonna start moving a lot quicker in this draft. No, not in this draft. In this part of the book, things are gonna start moving quicker because we're nearing the end, I guess. Which is kind of crazy because I'm 33,000. We're not nearing the end. What do you mean? I'm looking at my beat sheet and I wrote like a whole soliloquy in here. And it kind of eats. I didn't remember that I wrote that. That's really fun. Okay, let's get to writing. Let's stop fucking talking. Okay, it is Monday the 17th of February. I'm popping in because I didn't like bring my vlogging camera on this trip that I'm on. I'm at my family home at my parents' house, and I'm here for like a week, a little over a week. And I anticipated doing a lot of writing work, but I also like was like, I'm not gonna vlog it. So I don't know like what the thought process was there, but I have written every day I've been here. This is my second full day here. And I wrote a lot today. And I just wanted to like document that because I was like really excited about it. So I wrote 26,000, no, literally kill me, I don't know. I wrote 2,697 words tonight, all in one chapter, and this chapter was so fun. Like I have to tell you, I've really been trying in this writing process. I know like a lot of people don't do this, but like I'm influenced by everything I consume. Like I just like can't help it, and I consume so much like things. Like I read so many books, I watch so many movies, and it's all like culminates in what I create, and I think that's so awesome. I watched Saturday Night like 2 nights ago, and I wrote a scene that was kind of like reminiscent of like the chaos and movement of that. Like I really wanted it to feel like that, and it was so fun because like I kind of had an idea of where like the chapter was going, but like I didn't have like all the different beats that were happening, and it was really fun and chaotic and like a mess and a good time. I also watched The Fallout last night, which is another Megan Park movie because I saw Mile Bass when that came out and I really loved it, and I was like, well, let me go back, let me watch this movie that I had on my list, but that is such like an impactful teenage story. And I really, even though I'm like very much contemplating like aging this up, bringing it to new adult, and like, what's the new adult market like? I don't know, but like, I don't know as much about like new adult stuff. So I'm like thinking about putting it in that space, but I just love the YA space so much. And watching this movie just made me be like, this is what I love about like teen-centered stories. Like, I think they're so impactful. Like, coming of age stories are timeless. And like, I just watched this movie and it was so good. And it was so like, did so much and was saying so much and was so like not like a stupid cheesy thing. And I'm really like, as much as I try to make like my things that I write like for the most part like lighthearted in tone, like I don't want them to be cheesy and stupid. So I was just like getting very inspired by watching that movie. So I'm very happy that I watched it. I don't know what I'm doing now because I've had 3 cups of coffee today, so I'm really kind of like bouncing off the walls a little bit. My parents both left my house, so like I finished my writing for the day. I'm like, I do not write anymore. Like, you almost wrote 3,000 words. Like, you need to actually calm down. I read a book yesterday, but I'm like, it's really hard for me to like dive into reading when I'm like so writing focused, which is why my Goodreads challenge is suffering this month. Yes, it is. But I am still doing my little daily, every other daily reels on Instagram. So I did take like a couple days off before I came here, which I don't think I talked about, but I took like 2 days off, like 2 full days off, because I actually thought I was getting burnt out, which was really stressful and really bad. And I really didn't like that. And I was really worried about it. So I took 2 days off of writing, and then I came back in with a vengeance, actually. So I don't know, I guess like that was good for me. So as someone that does so many other things, I can't do this all the time. Man, is it productive and fun. Man, is it productive and fun. And I keep doing it, I really do. Like, I did NaNoWriMo when I was in high school. Like, why do I keep putting myself through this if I know the outcome? You know what the outcome is? A lot of work. And I'm 41,000 something in. I'm almost 42,000 in. So I'm really happy about that. I do think this draft is gonna be like 60,000, like on the dot. Like, I think it's really just gonna be like 60K. Like, I think I have like that much left of the story. Like, I'm almost done with the second act, and then I have the whole third act. I do think, and I fear that the second draft will be around 90K, because the story has to like, it has to be small, it has to start small, and then it has to bloat and expand, and then it has to like cut, chisel away, and then that's the third draft. And that's how I write. So I took a break, I came back, and full speed ahead in it. I'm also like low-key trying to finish this book while I'm here on vacation, because I have off of work and I have nothing else to do besides like go to doctor's appointments and go out to dinner with my parents and such. So I'm like low-key trying to do that. Don't put too much, like, I literally just said I almost got burned out by putting too much pressure on myself, but, and here I am saying, let me finish the book in the next 7 days. Hi friends! Okay, I haven't updated in a minute. The last update you would have seen was when I was at my parents' house. I had like a big writing day. I actually had a bigger writing day than that while I was there. I had like a 3,500 word day. And so I had some really good wins. I took a couple days off. It was a good time writing while I was away because I was like not focused on other things, which was great. I am now on February 26th. And I'm gonna finish this book today. I'm gonna finish this book today. I've decided, like, there's a lot of changes I've made while doing this draft, and there's ever so many more that I'm going to make in the next draft. So I have decided that this draft is going to end on chapter 29. It previously was gonna be chapter 30, and then I added another chapter, it was gonna be 31. It's 29 now because the planned chapter 30 that I have is going to change so drastically in the second draft that I'm like, I might as well not write it. Even though it's like the lasting image, like this version of the draft, this draft is not gonna have like a not lasting image, what is it called? Like a final image. It's not gonna have that final image that I want to have, but I'm like, I'm not gonna write a version of it that's gonna be just like completely altered because it's just gonna change so much in the second draft. So I'm not doing that. So I'm ending on chapter 29, which I actually started writing yesterday. I just kind of like zero draft, did a little bit of a more thorough outline of what I wanted to write for this chapter. It's exciting. I'm so excited. So I just wanted to like check in right now before I finish to just like be like, how am I feeling? Like, check the temp, like what am I feeling? How am I feeling? I'm feeling so freaking good. I'm so excited for the second draft. Like, I wish I was writing it right now. Like, I love the second draft. The second draft like is, I don't know, it's more work, definitely. I don't know, I feel like it keeps getting like more work as drafts go on, but like it becomes so like, the draft becomes so like malleable, and it really like, this first draft is like making the clay, and then the second draft to me is like really just shaping it and getting kind of the more general shapes and kind of carving it out a little bit more, and then you just keep kind of refining it and cutting away and doing things as the draft goes on. Here's my little metaphor for that. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the second draft. I am not going to do the second draft until April, I think. I'm gonna start in April. I'm gonna like do April and May to work on the second draft. Hopefully that's enough time. It might be April, May, and June, because I want to first draft another story in July, and maybe July and August, depending on what I'm doing. Last thing I will say, this is not getting to 60K, which is okay. I know that there's a lot lacking in this draft, and as far as I'm concerned, passing the 50K mark, that's a book. That's actually, you know what, that's a book. And it's a first draft, so like I'm really not that concerned about it. Like, this is the skeleton of the story. This is the like the meat and stuff, like that'll come in later. Right now I'm almost at 55K. I'm imagining it will be around, so it might be like 57K is what I'm thinking for the first draft, which is totally chill. There's a fun scene to write. There's a lot of like good like movement in the scene. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's the resolution. So writing the resolution I think is always kind of fun, because like it's finally like you know, we get to bring things back together that we like fucked up in the like third act conflict. So I am going to get to my writing. I will check back in with you when I am done. I'm so excited. Like, I have been planning all the things, all the ways I'm going to celebrate finishing this draft. Like, I want to buy myself flowers. Like, I really want to watch Yellow Jackets, which I am like saving for once I finish this draft, because I'm gonna get too invested. Like, there's a lot of things I want to do. I'm gonna get back to my half marathon training, which I have been doing. I did yesterday. But like, that's all to say, I'm going to finish this damn book right now, and I couldn't be more excited. I love this book. I love this book. Like, I cannot believe I was a person this past summer, I was hating this book. I was dreading it. I was like, it doesn't work. There's something about it that doesn't fundamentally work. And you know what didn't work? Me at the time. I didn't get off my ass and work. Like, there's something in this book, and I wish I could like tell you like the comps and like everything, because like, I know you'd love this. I know you'd love this, okay? Every time I tell someone the comps, they're like, yeah. I'm just so excited to go like forward in this process, because I do think that like I keep getting better at writing the more books I write, which is kind of sad. I so love every book that I've written. Calm down, focus up, and get some words in. Hello, my friends. I just finished writing my book. Woo! I literally was going a little crazy at the end. I was going a little crazy, I was going a little insane. I was like, just kind of something about like getting to the end. I was getting very giddy, I was getting very giggly. And like, I just love like the resolution, because I think it's like such a fun, heavily inspired by a lot of other things. And it's just fun. I don't know what to say. This draft, the first draft, is going to be a completed draft, completed at 56,013 words. I just really want to hit 56. So, I actually don't think this is sunk in. This always happens to me. Like, I finish like a draft of a book, or I finish something, and like it doesn't sink in for a while. So I think like tomorrow when I wake up and like go on my run and I do my things that I have to do, I'm not gonna be thinking about this book. Well, I'll probably be thinking about this. Probably will be thinking about this book, but like I won't be like thinking, oh, I have to work on my book today. I think that's gonna be when it hits me. But, so it's like done for the most part. There is a element that I need to add in. So I'm gonna just like work on that. That might be like one of the first things I do in the second draft. There's like 2 kissing scenes in the book, which is new for, well, not new for me, but it's more than I would normally do, because usually there's just one. I skipped the first one because I didn't want to write it. Maybe I used to like writing kissing scenes more, like when I was a young person, but I was thinking about it to myself today, and I was like, I just feel like an intimacy coordinator when I'm doing this. Like, I feel like I'm just choreographing the movements of this, and it just feels like it takes all the romance is stripped out of it. Like, it doesn't feel very fun and romantic. So there's that missing, and then there's those like little poetry things. I'm not gonna like put the full, I think I'm gonna just do like a couple of lines so that, but I'm feeling good. I'm like, I love this book. I'm just like, I fell back in love with it and I'm so glad that I like gave it the time. Like I don't know if it necessarily needed like this like 6-month stretch where I like wasn't working on it, wasn't thinking about it, and I was like, actually it's scrapped. I'm actually never working on it again. I don't know if it needed that, but maybe let's just say it did. It's all part of the process. It needed that so that I could write it today in February 2025 actually was its moment in time that it needed. But I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very jazzed. I'm feeling excited to like do other things and like be a real person again. Working on like a second draft, working on revisions is an exhausting process by itself, but like it doesn't need to like take my full energy and attention all of the time. It's something I can do on the weekends. It's something I can do when I have the time, not like, I don't need to make it my #1 priority. So I'm so glad that you got to join me on this journey of writing a book in 28 days, actually 26 days. This is my chart. I took 3 days off. So really I wrote this in 23 days. We're gonna count it as 26. I had 28 days and I'm gonna feel awesome. So I'm gonna go buy myself some flowers. Let me know how your writing is going. If you're in the first drafting phase, if you're revising, if you're querying, what you guys are getting up to. I'm excited to be back to writing so that I can be back in the writing community because I feel like I was absent from there for a while because I was not writing. So very excited to be back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, take you all along for the revision diaries. Look forward to some other book movie adaptation related videos coming soon, and then as well as some writing ones coming in the next couple of months. So hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to all the things, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.